We'll talk on optimizing and monetizing. So we're going to hear from Andrew, and then after that we're going to hear from Sharon from Yells. And then again, a reminder that tonight we're meeting at 6:45, right, at the front of the hotel for the trip to the dinner at the temple. So Andrew, would you come on up to the podium? Please join me in welcoming Andrew from BPS.
All good? Wonderful. So, firstly, thank you to Oscar and the organisers for the opportunity. We recently, as an organisation, attended Cinda in Spain, where Oscar made a connection with my European counterpart, and then offered the opportunity for us to showcase what we can offer with directory companies worldwide. So that's really where we're at today. I'd like to just start. Over the last couple of days I've met some wonderful people, and I think the group is a very accommodating group, so I thank you for the people that I've met so far. But really the message that I've been getting across the last 2 days from everybody that I've spoken to is that we all need to become more of an advisor. We need to become more for our SME customers. And that's really a clear message that a lot of the speakers have been talking about. And I think that we all have a responsibility to become more for our SMEs. So really, and it's not uncommon, a lot of our other speakers have spoken around this, but really the future is about optimising and monetising. So as an introduction to myself, Andrew Barker, as Charles mentioned, General Manager of BPS Technology Global. I've been with the organisation 24 of 26 years. But interestingly enough, I'm also an SME myself, and it makes it quite an interesting space as a restaurant owner in Australia with my youngest son. So it's quite interesting in my business, and also listening to a lot of the speakers over the last 2 days so far, of looking at it from two completely different dynamics. And it's interesting that I reflect on a lot of what we do and a lot of what we need to change from the perspective of an actual SME myself. We've been doing a lot of research. We've recently signed a partnership with the ZAP Group in Israel, which I'll talk a little about shortly. But really what we've done in relation to our research and talking with a lot of directory organisations, the pain points currently, and again, there's been a lot of discussion in the last 2 days, printed material, the cost of the directory, the dated nature by the time a printed directory goes to market, search and find capability being a one-dimensional offering, increased competition that's now in the marketplace with advanced technology and offerings compared to what we do to our SME customers. Decreasing revenues in advertising space due to those increased opportunities. So there's a lot more digital opportunities for SMEs to invest into, and therefore there's only so much money that the SME can invest. But also the consumer need to search, select, transact and collect all in one space. And we were talking a little, or the previous speaker, in relation to those particular demands of consumers to our SMEs. So as an industry, as a directory industry, what direction have we researched that has been taken? A lot of new services enhancing to support your SME customers along the areas of web design, maintenance, hosting, social media design and content, offering them SME or SEO services, ad design placements, and in some cases additional consumer platforms for specific industries or for comparison or compare perspectives. But really, we look at our session yesterday in relation to the third wave. and we talk about the disruptive innovation, and it's not necessarily, I suppose, as an industry, as a directory industry, it's not about taking the next step, but it's about taking the next leap. And that's very much disruptive innovation. To create a new market and value that disrupts the status quo, innovating, displacing current products, alliances and companies. So when we have a look at BPS Technology Global, I'll give you a bit of oversight of the company shortly. But I suppose we're a little unique in a speaker at this particular convention. We've heard from a lot of organisations over the last 2 days that have discussed about you enhancing or your offerings to an SME. What BPS Technology brings as an opportunity to directory organisations is to monetise and optimise your current database, and that is to build very large revenue sources through effectively making your directories transactional. So our disruptive innovation opportunities as BPS Technology Global, building richer and more personal data on our assets. So our platforms, our offerings bring with them a much enhanced richness of data. It increases the engagement and the face-to-face opportunities, so it's not just digital enhancement. It engages rewards to increase stickability. And also we create the opportunity of customer or consumer to business interaction points. When I sort of summarise, I suppose, a future relationship between a directory company and BPS Technology, I look at it that you have the audience, you have the current assets or the merchants, but our solution is optimising and monetising your current assets, being your merchants or SMEs, through engagement, transacting, and rewarding. To give you a very brief background of BPS Technology, we are publicly listed on the Australian on the Australian Stock Exchange, and we continue to develop modern payment, transactional reward and loyalty programs, optimised with data-driven insights and increased analytics capability to drive both B2B and B2C engagement. BPS Technology Global, that is me, is effectively the licensing arm of BPS Technology. So as I mentioned, we actually have been in the transactional space for over 26 years with our retail brands. So this isn't something new to us, but what this is new is now coming to directory organisations on the back of our relationship with the Zap Group and realising that we have a real value proposition to be able to install into directory organisations. Around 100 million in revenue, operating in 9 countries with our retail brands, 75 offices, current data of, and this is a transactional, of 36 merchants, 20,000 not-for-profit organisations, over 2 million consumers, around 1 billion per annum. And as I mentioned, our most recent licensee or licence partner is the Zap Group, which would be familiar to to a lot of people in the room. Obviously, the Yellow Pages proprietors in Israel. And for those of you who understand the Zap Group, I would find them as being one of the more innovative Yellow Pages organisations around the world. They were the first, as you know, over 10 years ago to eliminate the paper directory. They now have 26 online offerings, and they saw our product or one of our platforms to put them directly into the transactional and revenue space. Very simply, our mission to deliver value in every transaction, creating transactional platforms that give an amazing consumer experience for the benefit of your merchants or your SMEs. So we have 3 platforms that are offerings, and these are all about optimising and monetising your assets, being your merchants or SMEs. Firstly, we have a deals platform, which is a white-labelled B2B sales channel. It utilises an alternate digital currency and monetises merchants' spare capacity. So this is a B2B transactional platform that can either come as a retail brand for you with our retail brand or white labelled under your own brand. In the middle is our incentives platform, and that is specifically a white labelled offering consumers exclusive discounts within the tourism and hospitality sector. And finally, our rewards, one of our newer products, but one that is certainly got a high level of interest, definitely from directories companies. And in fact, Zap Barter or Zap Group have taken on our deals platform, but we are already in discussion before going live with that deals platform in the B2B space. We're already talking with Zap about this reward space, which is driving consumers to merchants through a app which is both a payment and instant reward app. So, very, very brief overview of each of the platforms. The alternate currency or the B2B app, it's all online and it is a mobile first product. Effectively it has account details. So this, in simplicity, is an alternate currency platform. So businesses join this particular platform, they pay a membership fee. They deal in a currency in the retail space called a trade dollar or a trade rupiah or a trade ringgit, depending on which country. And then effectively all transactions are done using this alternate digit currency, but in a very bank-like manner. So there's full access to account details. It is Google and online searched with map capability. There is an online e-marketplace where all products and services that are purchased and sold are sold or purchased using that alternate currency. There is a real estate site, so there is actually commercial and residential real estate transactions occurring globally using an alternate digital currency. And also there is a full travel and tourism site. So effectively the key benefits to your current merchants to participate in this sort of platform is it is digital and mobile based platform, and as I mentioned, mobile first, and that is where all of our technology is going into, that is improving our mobile application. The businesses apply to be members, as I mentioned. Transactions occur via online and mobile payment, so all of these alternate currency transactions happen via the mobile phone, and it's instant money or instant alternate currency straight into the other account. There is no delay on payment to merchant. The transaction fees are charged, and this is exactly where your additional revenue source is for this alternate payment platform, is that there is a transaction charge for every transaction done, and that is a large revenue source available to yourselves. It's marketed as an additional sales channel, so this becomes another offering for your existing sales teams out into the marketplace to your existing merchant base, and it is marketed purely as an additional sales channel. You have your cash market. Here is now an additional sales channel for you to enjoy, and as I mentioned, that is the B2B transactional platform. Having a look at the incentives platform, which is platform number 2 in our offering, this is it connects not-for-profit organisations with hospitality and tourism merchants, and it combines all of those directly into the consumer. This is a very, very good app, and the retail brand, some of you may know, that is in existence in Australia and New Zealand, is called the Entertainment Book. Its popularity is extremely large because it has a very, very nice community feel, in that every person that becomes a subscriber, as in a consumer that downloads the entertainment app, part of that money is going back to their allocated charity, school, etc. So the funding that entertainment or this particular app can then publicly announce each year of the amount of funds going back to not-for-profit makes it a very nice proposition. Very, very simple. It is for the consumer. So as I mentioned, the consumer subscribes. They pay an annual subscription to receive the entertainment app, or again, can be white labelled to anything you'd like it to be. They simply search for the particular place, predominantly restaurant. It then shows the particular offer on my app. of what the restaurant is offering at that particular time. I can refine my searching further. It then shows the full details. This is an actual client, and might I say probably one of the best restaurants currently in Australia. For any of you visiting the Gold Coast, I'd be happy for you to come to Nero Dining, not that that is my restaurant. So it shows the full description of the restaurant, in this case 40-seater, open from Tuesday evenings to Saturday, So it shows the full details of the property, and then it comes up for my instant redemption. So it comes up with the offer at the end of the service. The consumer shows the restaurateur their particular redemption. That's pressed by the restaurant, and the discount is taken off the bill. It is a one-time, so it's actually a very good program to offer to all of your hospitality or restaurant merchants within your database, because it is a one-time. Once the consumer has redeemed in that particular restaurant, that offer is then gone for that restaurant, but there is over a 25% return rate to the restaurant from the particular entertainment users. So it is quite a high percentage, and therefore, and it is also a zero cost in for merchant. But they get the benefit of, after a discount, then receiving full tote from the consumer. As of January, just a point in relation to this particular app, as of January 2018, this app will also become transactional. So it is, whilst we gain a very large revenue source currently and a revenue source available to you through consumer subscription, this will now be transactional, so consumers will actually be paying the restaurant through this, which will add another additional revenue source to yourselves. There's also special offers, so we have partner programs with people like Emirates, Virgin, etc. Any of our global partners that take on this particular platform, they get entered into those pre-existing agreements that we have with those major carriers and special offers as well. And let me say that those particular partners, being people like Emirates, Virgin Airlines, etc., they pay a fee to then have the captured audience of over 2 million consumers within entertainment. So there are multiple revenue sources available within this particular product. So again, the key benefits to your assets, or the key benefits to the SME, is, again, it's all app-based. The revenue paid for not-for-profits, the not-for-profits is basically the distribution source. So if you were to actually take on this platform, your acquisition strategy would be around offering it to your existing SMEs. The actual pushing out of the subscribers and the downloads of the app is through not-for-profits. So all you do is offer the not-for-profits a new revenue source. They then push out to all of their consumers or all of their databases, and that's where you get mass take-up in a very short period. Ideal for hospitality and tourism industries. As I mentioned, the app will become transactional, which just adds another revenue source 2018, and it drives consumers in simplicity to your existing hospitality SMEs. And finally, our B2C app. So the Bucky app is a very unique product. So this is our inbuilt payment and reward app. Very, very simple, but also the unique proposition here to your SMEs and to yourselves is that it is a dollar-for-dollar reward program. Now, as we know, the redemption generally in a reward program globally is around 8%. Therefore, I like to use the analogy, I've got to spend $1 million to be able to get a free toaster. So that is generally the redemption. Whereas within this particular app, it is dollar for dollar. If a consumer earns 20 reward points, for want of a better expression, and again, it can be white labelled, they earn 20 reward points. When they go and redeem those 20 reward points, they are worth 20 rewards. So again, very, very simple. It's all search and directory based. Again, available API can be put into your existing database, or you can sell it as a additional platform. Very, very simple search, geo-coded and push notification orientated. automatically shows the local businesses with the best offers. So in this particular example here, it actually shows the reward offered, but also the redemption offer from that particular merchant. It is purely the merchant can change their offering weekly. So therefore, in quiet times, merchants can actually increase their offering. In busy times, they can decrease their offering. In that search functionality, the details is a selected search, opening hours, addresses, etc. And then the transactional part. So preloaded credit cards into my app, and then when I go and pay, it is scanned QR code at the particular establishment, and then instantly debited, but my rewards also then go instantly into my app. There is a gamification function, so even when the consumer isn't using the app in a particular business, they can earn more rewards through gamification. With friends, so it's quite a viral product. And the key benefits to the assets within this particular app is it is a unique offering for consumers, being a dollar for dollar reward. It is available to market either as a tap and pay through a prepaid Visa or more so from the QR code mobile payment. And effectively it drives the consumers, the B2C, so it drives the consumers directly to your SME. So again, it's another value proposition offering that you have for your current, and it really turns a Yellow Page as a directory organisation, turns from being a search and online advertising proposition to now being a transactional. The integration is quite simple, platform, cloud-based, customised, we give all materials, trainings, etc. It also allows access for global partners to access our existing countries of operations, so your merchants can actually take consumers from other countries of where these platforms are in existence, and full training also. Probably the most important thing from a revenue opportunity, and again this is for directory companies, a space that over the last 48 hours we have spoken about is where is that next step or where is that next leap. There are multiple revenue streams available across all platforms. There is upfront revenues, but more so the revenues are in every transaction that occurs across all three platforms. And as I mentioned, it turns an online business proposition as a search engine into a transactional proposition. So again, BPS Technology, what we do offer is the opportunity to optimise and to monetise your current database. So I've got both the alternate payment currency app on my mobile for a live demonstration if anybody would like one, and also our B2C app. I also have live on my mobile for anybody that would like a short demonstration of how it physically works. Today what I wanted to do is basically take the opportunity to expose BPS Technology as a new offering to directory organisations around the world. Zap saw it as a great proposition, and I'd love to speak to any of yourselves about the same. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll try your restaurant if